Nation.
Let's go. Happy Tears Day.
Happy Tears Day to everyone in Buff Nation. This is DNVR Buffs Primetime. We're presented by Illegal Pete's, everyone's go-to spot for burritos, buddies, and beers. We will get to Tears Day.
Yes. Tier Tuesday, a.k.a. Tier List Tuesday, a.k.a. Tears Day.
Love it.
New segment.
With many more nicknames to come.
Yep.
We'll get to that. But some pretty massive news before we went live. While the bar is like losing power, basically.
Yeah.
We don't get blamed for today.
Sometimes, like, I just have questions. Like, there's just people that come in, they're like, oh, we got some stuff to do. Like, just got to flip all the breakers real quick. Like, no, you can't do that here.
Yes. Literally a company run on the internet.
Yeah. We can't be doing that here. I'm sorry. Got to at least ask.
All right, BJ Green. This is the first time I think I've ever seen this. He committed to Washington, former ASU defensive lineman, by the way, but he's visiting Colorado this weekend.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Did he commit to Washington before or after the Jed Fish scenario, Kalen DeBoer scenario?
Oh, way before, December 17th.
So that's why.
Yeah.
That's why you're seeing this happen. It's a really kind of just interesting path for him, right? He goes to ASU, balls out, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Decides he wants to transfer to Washington, wants to go play for Kalen DeBoer. Then the head coach, well, Kalen DeBoer leaves, goes to Alabama.
Yep.
And the head coach of his most hated rival while he's at ASU comes to be the coach at Washington.
I didn't even think about this.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe Jed Fish like yelled something at him on the field or something. You know, like he's like, I'm not playing for that fucking guy. So now he's, I guess, I don't know if the word would be back in the portal. Technically, he didn't leave the portal. He just committed to a school.
Well, so you said it before the show. He had to have not signed,
Or else he'd be considered.
Unless he's a grad.
That's true. That's true.
Because grads have a whole different portal that's like endless, so they can do whatever. But he must not have signed if he's obviously not enrolled then.
Yeah.
Because he's going on visits. He's not really committed, even though he's committed.
Yep.
So we'll see. BJ Green, though. Go ahead.
Kind of some interesting behind-the-scenes info. When BJ Green originally entered the transfer portal, Jake and I heard from someone who has a little bit of knowledge of ASU that BJ Green was coming to Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
And then, as you can imagine, they always do in the transfer portal, things changed a little bit. Not exactly sure why, but you know, a lot of times it has to do with money.
Mm-hmm.
And he, last second, flips from that, I guess, in air quotes, goes to Washington. Now it seems like he's maybe not happy with the way things are going in Washington. Back in the portal, and so we know at a certain point he was very high on Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a good chance here, and this would be a big time addition.
Yep. He's rated currently as a 4-star transfer on 247, the 7th overall defensive lineman in the portal. He was a 2021 3-star recruit out of Georgia. Now he's listed. I just closed the page. Now he's listed at 6'1", 270, slightly undersized, but I think he plays on the edge too.
Yeah.
So I guess a big edge rather than undersized defensive lineman.
Kind of bold, you know, one of those tweeners. And when used the right way, those guys can be matchup nightmares.
Mm-hmm.
This would be a big one. Apparently, he has a crystal ball to Ole Miss.
Yeah, it was just filed this morning. That's what I was telling you. What I saw, that I thought he went somewhere else.
Okay,
David Johnson, the Ole Miss insider, filed that one.
And he just visited Ole Miss.
I think so.
But he's keeping the visits going, so we'll see what happens there. Would definitely be a big one. What was his? How many sacks did he have last year?
So he had 6 sacks last year, 11.5 tackles for a loss, 39 total tackles in 12 games.
There you go.
And a forced fumble.
Also, to people who saw our headline before we changed it, we're expecting to have Justin Myers as a guest later this week.
Yes.
We were going to have him today, but it didn't work out.
Yeah, he'll be coming. In his career, BJ Green, 13.5 sacks, 21 tackles for a loss. Has played 12 games the last 3 seasons. Would be a just massive pickup for this team.
Definitely. Yeah, he has a lot of fans out there around ASU, who say he's a dog. So,
all right.
Let's get him.
On to Tiers Day.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Today, we are doing Big 12 title contenders, I guess, but we're basically tiering the entire conference.
Yeah, tiering them for this year. What we expect for this year. This is going to be interesting. I'm kind of going in flying by the seat of my pants here. I haven't put too much thought to this, but we also talked about the quarterbacks yesterday, and I think there's some pretty clear tiers here. So this should be not too difficult.
All right, let's get it going then. Do you need to pull it up? Okay, no worries. Well, first team we'll start with then is Arizona. We've got 5 tiers here. Title game favorites at the top. Right below that, contenders. Below that, needs a magical season. Bowl season below that, and pretenders. You can see it all right there on the screen now.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Title game favorites can only have 2 teams in it, right?
Yeah. I'd assume so.
Yeah. I mean, this is who we're expecting to play for the Big 12 title.
Yes. So Arizona last year, they finished number 11. They went 7-2 in the Pac-12, 10-3 overall. Of course, the big story with them was their quarterback coming into the season. Jaden Delora had some off-field stuff going on. Then Noah Fafita comes in halfway through once Delora is injured and looks like the best freshman quarterback in the country.
Yep.
Tedero McMillan, probably one of, if not the best receivers in the country. I saw ESPN put out a list today projecting 2024 All-American teams. Travis did make it as a corner, but Tedero is one of the wide receivers.
Yeah. I mean, Tedero's insane.
He's ridiculous.
And Noah Fafita is really, really good, too. I thought, though, Noah Fafita looked pretty human when CU played him. I don't know how... Like, that was just a great game plan, I guess, by Charles Kelly and great execution by the players, because every other game I watched him, it was like he's just throwing darts all over the field.
Yep.
I'm not
New coach,
new athletic director. We haven't talked about that yet. So there was that whole thing that came out mid-season that was like Arizona's $200 million in debt.
Yeah.
Then all of like the Arizona people we're like, this isn't true. It's all made up. Blah, blah, blah. Then the athletic director gets fired, and Brett McMurphy reports like it's because of like financial neglect causing like irreparable damage to the department or something like intense like that. So it sounds like the debt was very real. Maybe the number was off or whatever. And then it was also something about like mismanagement of Jedd Fisch's contract, which makes it sound like they're blaming him for Jedd Fisch getting away.
It's getting nasty down there in Tucson. It's the same team, but man, they are split down the middle in multiple ways with the AD stuff, with the debt stuff. They got transfer portal stuff going on. It's just insane over there. Where are we putting them?
I can't put them in championship game favorites with all the turmoil. So I'm going to put them in contenders.
That's fair. I mean, it's not unheard of for, a head coach to come in and be immediately competitive with someone else's roster, but there's just so much going on here at Arizona right now. They're going to be talented. They're going to be a tough out, but they're definitely knocked down a peg. If Jedd Fisch was still there, I think we might have them in contenders.
Yeah, no, I think Jedd Fisch is still there. They're at the top.
All right, Baylor. Not a great season last year, man.
What can you tell me about Baylor?
I can tell you they went 2-7 in the conference. They went 3-9 overall. They could not win at home. They went 1-7 at home. Just not a good season, man. They finished 11th in the Big 12. They did beat Cincinnati. They beat the two of the newer teams. They beat Cincinnati and UCF. They beat FCS Long Island, also in the non-conference schedule. This is a team that pretty volatile, I guess, in the Big 12 throughout their history.
Yep. They've mostly been really
Yeah,
bad.
spent a lot of time at the bottom.
They had the RG3 bump that kind of carried them for a little while. Remember, they had like Bryce Petty.
Yep.
A couple nice players in there, but for the most part, Baylor is a bottom tier Big 12 school, and that's where they're headed back.
I think so. They've got a quarterback who's played quite a bit. I think he's played 4 years there. He's going to be a senior this year. Only had 13 touchdowns to 3 interceptions last year.
Yikes. Pretenders.
Pretenders.
Nope.
We'll get to them. Yes.
Yep.
Next team.
How many games did they win last year, Baylor?
Baylor, 3 games.
Okay.
Next team, first year in the Big 12 this last year. A team that 2020-ish during COVID when they had Zach Wilson, really, really good. But only 5-7 for BYU this last year. Again, first year in the Big 12. They did have some wins in conference. They went 2-7 in conference, and then 5-7 overall.
That was an interesting year for them. I watched a lot of BYU, and it felt like they were in every game.
Yeah.
It really felt like they were in every game, but they fell short in most of them. And I remember like one of the announcers being like, "Oh, it's been like a rude awakening for them, not being able to hand pick their schedule."
Yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say Keaton Slovis was their quarterback last year. He's finally done.
Yep.
So we don't know who their quarterback will be.
Okay. I'll put them in. What's the one above Pretenders?
Bowl season.
Bowl season. I'll put them in bowl season.
I mean, they won 5 games last year. Yeah. Just a 1-game improvement.
Good coach, too.
Yeah, Kalani Sitake. It's in like his 9th year now. He's been there quite a while at this point. Next team, we got UCF. The other black and gold team, led by Gus Malzahn. If you've been watching college football for a while, you know exactly who that is. He's been there. Yep, been there the last, I think, 4 years or so. Last year, they had some success in the Big 12. They went 3-6 in the conference. Overall, 6-7. I'm pulling up their schedule now. They had wins in conference over. Oh man, this is 24. John Reese Plumlee was their quarterback last year. He's been there, I feel like, quite a while as well. Yeah, that was his 5th year in college football. So another team that could be getting a new quarterback. Brought in some talent, though.
How many wins? 6?
They were 6-7. Yep, 6-7.
Let's go bowl season. I don't think even with a magical year, they're not making noise. I don't think.
Right. They have been recruiting pretty well.
Have you agreed with me on all of these so far?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I am.
I don't want to commandeer the list.
No, I'll state my displeasure if I have to.
Okay.
But UCF, I mean, Colorado's been in a few recruiting battles with them already. Stacey Gage was one. Kylan Fox, I think, was another.
Yep.
So they've got some pieces coming in, but still kind of adjusting to the jump to this power conference.
Power 4.
Power 4? Sure. Cincinnati, the worst team in the Big 12 last year.
Yeesh.
Only won 1 game in the conference. They only went 3-9 overall. A little bit of I don't know. We took Shimon Mateer from them at least.
Yep.
So there's something there. I can't remember who the head coach is. It was Fickle.
Yep.
I'm pulling it up. Scott Satterfield. I think that was the former Louisville coach, if I remember correctly.
Like defensive coordinator. Yeah, I remember that name.
Yep.
That's Pretender. That's a Pretender.
Yeah, they've really fallen on hard times since Luke Fickle and Desmond Ridder and those teams. They have Emory Jones at quarterback. You remember him?
He was an ASU guy, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Or actually, he might be done. He's played 6 years.
Oh my God!
Who knows? He might have a 7th though.
You never know. You never know.
But yeah, a team that just isn't what they used to be. Do we do CU now, or do we wait?
No, let's wait a little.
Okay, let's go to Houston then. A lot of crossover with Colorado and Houston. Obviously, Alton last year, Tyler Johnson this year.
Mm-hmm.
This team went 2-7 in the Big 12. Chidoze as well. 2-7 in the Big 12, 4-8 overall. They were one of those teams too. Really good when they were in the American, I want to say.
Yep.
Had some really good teams before that when Kevin Sumlin was the head coach. They were one of the better teams in the nation, really.
Yeah.
They had Donovan Smith at quarterback this last year. I'm pretty sure he's one of the guys coming back.
Coming back,
yeah.
And how many wins last year?
4 wins. Dana Holgerson was fired after only winning 4 games for them. They hired Willie Fritz, I believe, Tulane coach.
I think they're going bowling.
I'd agree with that. I think this is look, you're in Houston.
Yep.
You can get players. Obviously, we know that. We've taken a few of them who have entered the portal. Willie Fritz has done a good job, did a great job at Tulane, really. Made that program relevant.
Yeah. Beat USC in a bowl game.
Yep. This program's been relevant before, so I wouldn't be surprised if they find a way back. Iowa State.
Oh, UCF is the one with KJ Jefferson.
Oh, that's who it is, yes.
Yep.
Iowa State, they do have one of the better returning quarterbacks in the Big 12 in Rocco Becht.
Rocco's Modern Life.
7-6 last year. They finished 4th in the Big 12. They went 6-3 in conference.
Wait, what?
What just happened?
I think
Are we good? I just saw chat move.
Only half of the TVs went out? Why are we doing this?
I don't know.
I don't like yelling at people. I might have to yell at someone.
Well, you can do that in segment 2.
Okay.
We're still live, right?
Yes.
6-3 last year in the Big 12, but 7-6 overall. Rough non-conference for them last year.
I'm going to put them in the needs a magical season. Oh,
there
my
fucking
God.
goes.
No, we're still good. Somehow.
Cameras look off, though.
Are we still live?
Yes.
Today might be the day that I lose it.
Be mine.
Oh my God, it happened again.
I don't know if we're live or not.
This is unbelievable.
Do we keep going?
I don't know. For those of you who are, if you can hear us,
Yeah, can you hear us?
they keep turning the power on and off. Oh, all right. I guess we're still going.
Did you smash some heads?
Alyssa yelled at some people. Hopefully it doesn't happen again.
Can you please stop?
What did they say?
They were like, we don't know. We flipped this light.
Can they just
Stop
not
fucking
flipping
touching things.
lights?
God dang.
Jesus.
All right.
Where are we at?
Iowa State. I'm putting them in the needs a magical season.
Okay.
They have a quarterback. They have a coach.
Mm-hmm.
They could put a magical season together.
I think so. I mean, they obviously showed that they can be one of the better teams in the Big 12. They lost to Iowa and Ohio out of conference. I guess Oklahoma, too. They're obviously not in the Big 12 anymore. So they did beat Kansas State at the end of the year, though.
Okay. Yeah, they got the magic in them.
Matt Campbell used to be thought of as one of the... Where are we at with Matt Campbell? Used to think that he was a guy to, like, be a candidate for, like, when big jobs open. Now you never hear his name.
Yeah, that's the old strike while the iron's hot. Or as Coach Prime would say, you either get elevated or terminated.
Yep.
Well, he missed his chance to get elevated. Now it's just a ticking time bomb before he gets terminated. Eventually, Iowa State's going to get sick of 7 and 8 win seasons.
It is tough when you're Iowa State, though.
Yeah, I know. Iowa State used to be a joke,
Next team.
except for when they had Seneca Wallace.
That's even before me.
He was sick. Do you remember him? He backed up Russ.
He was my
Seattle
backup quarterback every year in Madden.
because he had like 89 speed.
Yes.
Dude, Seneca Wallace in college was a problem.
Yeah.
He was sick. I remember, actually, we've talked about it on this show before, but CU beat Iowa State to clinch a Big 12 title game berth in the last home game of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when Matt McChesney gave me his gloves.
Damn. A
Yep.
moment in time.
Yep.
Next team is Kansas. Jalen Daniels coming back. One of the better quarterbacks in the Big 12. Lance Leopold's one of the better coaches in the Big 12, really.
Yep.
Kansas has had a resurgence the last few years. Last season, the Jayhawks went 5-4 in the Big 12. They finished 9-4 overall, though. Finished at number 23 in the polls.
So they're between contender and needs a magical season. I want to hear your thoughts, and then I'll give you mine.
I just think that Lance Leopold's done a great job. I think Jalen Daniels is a problem. Throwing the ball and running the ball. Like, he can win games single-handedly by himself.
Okay.
So I might even say
Title game favorites?
title game faves, yeah.
No.
I don't know, man. Jalen Daniels is one of the better quarterbacks.
He is. Jalen Daniels is sick.
He's very sick.
But they were 5-4 last year.
In
the
conference,
Now,
yeah.
he wasn't playing. But we got to see how he comes back.
They lost to Texas.
Also, I just can't get out of my head that they are Kansas.
That is true. Chris Harris Jr., though.
Yep.
Akeem Talib.
You know what they got that year?
Yeah,
A
their best
magical season. They got a magical season one time. Let's just settle it and put them in contenders.
Okay. They did beat number 6 Oklahoma last year.
I mean, they were good.
They also got a bowl win over Nevada or UNLV in the Guaranteed Rate Bowl.
Arizona and Kansas are playing in a neutral site game today. Who are you picking?
I'd have to say Kansas. I don't know. I still don't really know what I'm getting with Arizona.
I would probably pick Arizona.
Really?
This is our biggest variance team.
The thing with Arizona is there's so much going on, and they already made the announcements they're coming back, but they could just re-enter the portal.
We'll redo. We'll have another Tears Day then.
Okay. Next team, K-State. Really been one of, if not the best team in the Big 12 the last few years. Where are we at with them? 9-4 last year. Is that a disappointing season for them? They went 6-3 in the Big 12.
Who'd they lose to in the non-con?
Let me pull
I think
this
it was
up.
a really good team.
They lost to Missouri.
Yep. Really good team.
Losses to Missouri, Okie State, Texas, and Iowa State. Beat NC State in the Pop-Tarts Bowl, though.
Iowa State's Pop-Tarts Bowl is so sick. Iowa State's really the only team that they lost to that they should have beat. I guess you could make the case for Oklahoma State. They bring their quarterback back, right?
No, Will Howard went to Ohio State.
Oh.
So new quarterback.
Okay. Needs a magical season, probably.
I don't know, man. This is another team. They're always winning. They're always up there.
Who's their quarterback?
Does it matter with them? They had, what's his name? Colin Klein. He couldn't throw the ball
Speak ill
forward.
of Colin Klein. That is a Colorado product.
He couldn't throw the ball forward.
He was
though.
in New York.
They were the #1 team in the country with him.
Bro was a Heisman finalist.
I know.
He could throw the ball forward.
And then what happened after he left K-State?
That's irrelevant. I guess we'll settle again on contenders.
Okay. Oklahoma State. Very, I don't know, weird year for them last year.
I don't think there's two teams going into title game favorites.
You don't think so?
Nope.
I mean, it's so hard right now anyway.
I only see one team in here that I feel confident that they're going to the title game.
Okay. Oklahoma State went 10-4 last year. They finished 16th in the AP poll. They went 7-3 in conference. A terrible, terrible loss in the non-conference schedule to South Alabama. They lost 33-7. Iowa State beat them as well. UCF.
South Alabama, what?
Jaguars.
Good call. Oh, you
Easy.
know that because of the Senior Bowl.
It's easy. UCF beat them 45-3. And then
Oklahoma State?
And then they lost to Texas in the Big 12 title game. Texas ran all over them.
Yeah.
And then they got a win over A&M in the Texas Bowl.
They're a contender.
I don't trust Mike Gundy teams.
I don't like Mike Gundy at all.
Yeah, well, yeah, that too. But
they shouldn't be trusted. They shouldn't be trusted. But they are normally good,
yeah,
so they're a contender.
I'm trying to look at.
They're bringing their quarterback back, right? Alan Bowman, like year 7 of eligibility or something.
No, after his 3rd year of being a senior last year, I think he might be done.
No, I thought we went over this yesterday.
I can't remember talking about him. He did not play well last year, though, if we talked about him.
All right. I have a hard... Well,
He had 15 touchdowns to 14 interceptions.
it's not bad.
It's not bad. 15 to 14?
Oh, I thought you said 15 to 4.
No.
Oh, wow.
Almost 1 for 1.
Damn, gunslinger. Yeah. All right. Do they need a magical season then? Or are they a contender?
I'd say contender still.
Yeah, I think they're a contender.
Next team. TCU. We know what happened to them week 1 last year.
Yep.
Colorado beat them after they were ridiculously made 21.5-point underdogs. But disappointing year for the Horned Frogs. Coming off that natty, only went 5-7. They went 3-6 in the conference. They obviously lost a ton from 22 to 23. Losses to Colorado, West Virginia,
Bowman's
Iowa
back,
State.
year 7. I knew we talked about that yesterday.
That's ridiculous. He literally has 3 years where it says senior on his thing. He's going to have 4 of them now.
This is terrible.
He's going to have a whole
The
college career of being a senior. Yes.
Honestly, sounds awesome. I can't even hate.
It really does, though.
Just being
What is
a
he, like 24?
senior quarterback 4 years in a row.
My guy's going to have a house with all this NIL money he's
Dude,
collecting.
that is unreal. That's literally like if your life turned into a loop, but you just got to live the best year of your life over and over again.
Groundhog year?
Yes.
TCU, though. Did Chandler Morris enter the portal?
That sounds familiar to me.
Do you remember seeing that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's playing for North Texas now.
Okay.
So I don't even know who they'd have at quarterback because that other guy went to Cal, the runner that we played in 22.
Yes, he was sick. Bowl season.
Yeah, man, tough for them.
What's so funny is that we spent all last offseason trying to explain to people that TCU was not going to be good.
Uh-huh.
But then we beat them. And then I was like, no, actually, TCU's great.
Only when it works for us, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's how I operate. But yeah, we were totally right. Like this time last year, talking about TCU, we were spot on.
Definitely.
Like, all of their players are gone. Like I feel like everyone just thought, oh well, since they were in the national title game last year, like they have to still be good.
Right. Next team, Texas Tech. Colorado will be taking the trip to Lubbock this year.
Mm-hmm.
Texas Tech last season.
Gonna have some deep fried cheese.
That's your go-to thing in Lubbock?
I wouldn't say it's my go-to thing. It's their go-to thing.
They went 5-4 in the conference. They finished 7-6 overall. They made the Independence Bowl. They beat Cal. Losses last year to Wyoming, Oregon, West Virginia, K-State, BYU, and Texas. Tyler Shuck, I think, entered the year as the quarterback. He got benched.
They almost beat Oregon, remember?
That's right. Yeah, that was a close game.
The way they played against Oregon was the reason why I thought we could beat Oregon.
I know. Baron Morton, I think, is their quarterback.
Okay.
I don't know.
What was their record again last year?
7-6, 5-4. Joey McGuire, the head coach.
They're either in bowl season or needs a magical season.
So they went 8-5 McGuire's first year, 7-6 his second year last year. Do we continue going
The thing
down?
is, like, I can't pick any of these teams without a quarterback that they know. You know?
I don't know if they got a transfer or not. I can pull it up real quick, but
That's why I don't believe in Kansas State, and why I'm. Yeah, that's the main one for me, and why I'm lower on Texas Tech. Let's go bowl season for them.
they did get a 5-star wide receiver. think Mike Matthews is his name.
Okay, nice. I remember that. It was like the first 5-star.
Yeah, they flipped him from Texas, I believe, and people lost their minds. Or Longhorns fans lost their
The
minds.
comments really want Texas Tech in the magical season or contenders tier.
They did lose like a ton in the conference, though. Like they lost 1, 2, 3, 4 conference games to West Virginia, BYU, and K-State and Texas are good teams, but I don't know. They seem like high volatility as well. Like that's why I think, I don't know, maybe needs a magical season. Maybe. But I don't think they have that in them.
All right, well, let's bowl season.
Bowl season?
Yep.
Utah. The class of the Pac-12 for the last few years.
This one hurts.
Cam Rising's also showing up for his 27th season in college football.
He's a rising senior.
He is. Of course, Kyle Whittingham, the head coach, he's been there for forever. The Utes, in a down year, went 8-5, 5-4 in the Pac. Of course, coming over with Colorado.
This
Title
one
game
hurts.
favorites.
This one hurts. Putting them in title game favorites.
This is the right call.
This is as honest as you'll ever see me be. It's a style thing.
Yep.
They're honestly built like a Big Ten or SEC team the way that they build. They're huge on the lines. They can run the hell out of the ball, and now they're bringing back a quarterback who has seen everything.
Yep. Been there, done that.
They have a coach who's been there forever. I mean, they have they have the whole recipe.
Yep.
They have all the ingredients. And I hope that they fall flat and fail and lose every game. But if I'm being honest, I think they are all but a lock to be up there at the top.
They've had some portal turnover. They have gotten some good portal recruits as well. They got a wide receiver from Washington, a running back from Arkansas, both 4 stars. Then Dorian Singer, remember him?
Yep.
Left USC. He's going to Utah.
Yeah.
So they're going to have some weapons, man.
The thing about Utah is like they always Utah it at some point. So they're not gonna. I don't think they're going to be a national contender, but I think they're going to be a problem for the Big 12, which really like people kind of talk about the Pac-12 as like this sling it around, spread it out conference. Like the Big 12 has become exactly that too.
Oh, definitely.
And so when they come in here with these, monsters in the trenches, it's going to create problems for a lot of teams.
Mm-hmm. West Virginia kind of had a great year last year. Came out of nowhere, finished 4th in the Big 12. They went 9-4 overall, 6-3 in the conference. Their head coach is Neil Brown. Do you have any idea who that is?
No.
Neither do I. He's been there since 2019, though.
Wow.
Yes.
Good coach, I guess. They're usually right around there. I would put them in needs a magical season.
Okay.
Got a good quarterback coming back.
Mm-hmm. Garrett Green.
You said nine wins last year.
9 wins.
Let's give Iowa State some company in there and then needs a magical season category.
West Virginia last year lost to Penn State in the season opener. Losses to Houston, Oklahoma State, and Oklahoma.
All right.
Colorado next?
Yep.
Well,
Contenders.
okay.
Best quarterback in the conference, best overall player in the conference.
Full stop.
That makes you a contender.
Yeah.
Now, I think they're right in that mix with those teams, and it's going to be a dogfight to get that other spot in the Big 12 title game. Now, there's also a chance that Utah falters, injuries, whatever, and there's 2 spots, but I totally think that Colorado is right in here. And when you look at last season, it was a full, total, entire rebuild. And they did a pretty damn good job. Won 4 games. Could have easily been more. They lost, 5 games by 1 score?
Yeah. I think it's 5. I'm checking right now.
So give me the Buffs and contenders. And if you disagree, apologize later.
I just don't know how you can look at this team and look at how they've improved the trenches on both sides and look at the teams that they are going to go up against and think that they won't be contending for the Big 12 this year.
Well, and so let's look at magical season. Would anyone think it was magical if Shedeur Sanders threw for like 40 touchdowns and 5 interceptions?
Outside of Boulder, yes.
That's just who he is. That's what he
I
does.
know. I get it, but people,
Okay.
you know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm just saying like that doesn't need magic. That's just Shedeur being Shedeur.
Right.
If Travis Hunter, makes himself a top 5 pick in the NFL by dominating both sides of the ball, is that magical? No, that's just who
that's
he
expected,
is.
Yeah.
So the place where they would quote unquote need a little bit of magic, honestly, to me, is just the gelling of the team and the offensive line. They also upgraded the talent on the offensive line to such a degree that I think it's going to make a massive difference with the quality of quarterback they already have. I don't think that they need magic to be a contender.
No. I mean, you're getting so many pieces back healthy, too. Not to mention Tyler Brown, of course, but Alton McCaskill. You get Demoy Kennedy back. You get some defensive linemen, hopefully, who weren't able to really contribute. Who knows what Savell Smalls does, if he's tight end or edge. I just think there's a lot of upside with Colorado coming into this year. And we're going to be saying this all off season long, and everyone else is going to laugh at us on Twitter and all that, but we know ball.
Yeah, no, I stand on this one. And I'll keep receipts on anyone who thinks that's crazy.
Do we want to move anyone into title game favorites?
No.
We're just keeping it with one.
I mean, I'd be willing to hear an argument.
I don't know. I feel like maybe you should just put one more team up there.
I don't think anyone else deserves to be up there.
I'll go back to Kansas or K-State then.
No.
Just no.
K-State, new quarterback. But I said I'll hear an argument, so state your case.
Look, we all think Shedeur is the best quarterback in this conference.
Yes, he is. Probably the best quarterback in the country.
Definitely. Jalen Daniels, though, for the last 2 seasons, he's gone through some injuries and stuff. I think you can credit Lance Leopold, but I think he's really the reason why Kansas has become relevant. People watch Kansas because of him, and it's because he's good. They put up points. They are lethal offensively. I just think that wins in this conference.
The jury has heard your case and denies the motion.
Okay.
I don't think title game favorite, meaning they should be there. I don't think you can say that about any of those teams.
Fair enough.
I looked up the odds on DraftKings just to see. They don't have odds on the Big 12 conference yet, but number one in terms of Big 12 teams to win the national championship is Utah at plus 6,000.
Okay.
Number 2 is Kansas State at plus 7,000. Number 3 is Arizona at plus 8,000. Kansas down here at plus 15,000, tied with TCU and Texas Tech. Colorado behind them at plus 20,000. UCF in that category, Iowa State. So that's what they think. West Virginia, they don't believe in the magical season. They've got them down at plus 40,000.
Okay. Colorado's probably plus 100,000 or something ridiculous.
No, they're at plus 20,000.
Oh, okay.
Yep, right behind Kansas and Texas Tech on the odds.
Oh, we did forget a team.
Oh, we did, didn't we?
Bummer. Alyssa, I guess you're just gonna have to make your own tier. Name it. Lost to Colorado without Travis Hunter and went 3-9.
That sounds good.
Yeah, I think that's right where they belong. Oh man.
But
For real though, how good do you think ASU will be?
Terrible. What are we doing here? There we go. Lost to Colorado without Travis Hunter, and what was the last part? Oh, and went 3-9
went 3-9,
last year.
yeah. Are we still alive?
I actually would put them in the pretenders category.
Okay. Fair enough.
But after the asinine tier list that they put out, we had to get them back.
Had to.
But I actually truly believe they're in pretenders.
No, we don't really know what's going on at quarterback. I don't think they know what's going on at quarterback.
Rashada, right?
You'd assume so, but man, the guy only threw what?
2 touchdowns or something?
He threw 14 passes last year, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
And at no point was he like...
Or no, 82 passes. Sorry, I was looking at rushing attempts.
Okay. What
Still.
were his stats?
53% completion, 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions.
Yeah. Look,
That's a 5-star.
true freshman succeeding immediately is unlikely. But that's tough. That's tough to kind of build on.
Yep.
We're at 45 minutes. We gotta hit a nut break.
Oh yeah, we do.
Oh, I forgot about that.
We gotta hit a few nut breaks.
Oh, we did it right. Someone called it a trash list. Good job, man.
Hey, let's go.
Shout out to Fubo TV, 140 plus live channels of sports, shows, movies, and news. You can stream live on any device. We are massive fans of Fubo here at DNVR. They hook it up with the Pac-12 network. The easiest way to watch the Pac-12 network and CU basketball is on Fubo TV. But they've got everything else, ESPN, all the local channels, Red Zone, all the good stuff. You get 1,000 hours of cloud DVR also. You can watch all your favorite college football and the NFL Fubo. Go to www.fubotv.com/DNVR. Sign up for 15% off your first month of Fubo Pro, and then Red Hawk Roofing.
Big shout out Red Hawk Roofing. Come down to the DNVR bar on Thursday. Red Hawk Roofing is co-hosting a watch party for the Nuggets game with us. Excited for that, and excited for our friends over at Red Hawk Roofing because they're also hooking up 2 people with tickets to the Nuggets 76ers game coming up. I would say the rematch of Jokic Embiid, but history would tell us that Embiid will be dodging this game. But if he does play, that would be cool too. Anyways, hit up our friends over at Red Hawk Roofing. If you need a new roof over your home or business, they're the absolute best, and they're true Colorado sports fans.
All right. We've got someone we want you guys to meet.
It's a great way to put it.
We have an interview. Someone new has joined the DNVR team, someone that you guys are more familiar with than you know.
And he's a busy man, so we had to pre-record this video. Love to see that, to be honest.
Yep. Are we good to go? Yep. All right, here he is. Joining us now on the DNVR Buffs podcast, a new face to some, but you've seen his work many times before. Ryan Cotter joining DNVR. Welcome, man.
Thank you guys for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so if you're wondering, like, dang, it feels like DNVR Buffs has gotten better on social, and then you're also thinking, dang, it feels like the Barstool Colorado account got worse on social. This is why.
Yeah. Yep. Excited to be here. Been a fan of your guys' show for a while now. So
Hell yeah.
Awesome opportunity. I appreciate you, RK, for bringing me on, and Adam as well with the Nuggets podcast. So yeah, excited.
It's funny, just so everyone knows, we did not steal Ryan away from Barstool. We saw him post that he was leaving, and we were like, all right, we gotta hit him up. You and I had talked a little bit like back when, and it's funny because Adam, I was literally about to text Adam like, hey, we should reach out and just see what he's up to. And as I like had my phone open to do that, he texted me. He's like, I just reached out to the Barstool, Colorado guy. I was like, all right, we're on the same page here.
Yeah.
So
No, it's funny. I think messaged you like a couple of years ago and asked about like an internship here at DNVR. And that was right after I started, back before Prime was here and stuff. But it's cool that it all came full circle and here now.
So when did you start running the Barstool account?
End of 2020, so like right at the beginning of the Carl Durrell era, right before the COVID season started.
Right before it all went down, huh?
Which was actually a pretty fun season.
Yeah.
But it went downhill pretty quick.
It really did.
So how did that come about? Like, how did you get into that gig?
Yeah, they made a post on Twitter or Instagram to like send an email to someone in New York City, whoever. And so I typed up this whole thing, and I had an internship before running like a soccer social media page. And so
Which one
typed
was
up
that?
this, the 18.com. They're based in Boulder.
Yep. One of my good friends was like on the ground floor there.
Oh, really? Yeah. So typed up a whole email. Didn't think I was going to hear back. Heard back, and me and 3 other people started running it in 2020, and then 2021, 2022, and this year it was pretty much just me. So
Been crushing it, man.
appreciate it.
What was your favorite time running the account pre-Prime era?
Pre-Prime era? I mean, the COVID season was fun. There were some fun moments. Alamo Bowl, but then also March Madness. What was that? 2021, I guess.
The canceled one?
Yeah. Well, the one that they made.
Right.
And they beat Georgetown.
Yeah.
That was pretty fun. Jabari Walker.
That was crazy. He hit like 6 or 7 threes.
6 or
in
7
that
threes,
game.
Georgetown, and then, yeah.
So I remember like a shift, because I think that account has been around for a while.
Yeah.
But I remember a shift of like, this account just became like kind of like the voice of the students. Do you remember kind of that happening and like what led to that?
Yeah, well, I think because we had the C unit before, and they were kind of the voice of the student section and planned everything out, but it kind of died a little bit. And so coming back after COVID and people were starting to come, more fans in stadium and students were allowed back in, someone reached out from the football team and wanted to do a theme, like a colored theme. And so that's kind of how that started. I think we did a whiteout, and I remember, a lot of the alums were upset because I guess we had lost every whiteout game before for a long time. And so people were upset that we were doing a whiteout game, and that was the game we got shut out by Minnesota.
Well, and people were also upset because Minnesota was wearing white.
They were wearing
And
white,
we
but
were
that's how
wearing
it
black.
goes. Like, that's how it goes. Like the road
just-
team always wears white, but
I'm just remembering the situation.
But yeah, so then we kept doing themes and it worked. And I think it helped like students want to go to the games more and got them more involved. But yeah, over time, like the Instagram account grew, and, even before like Prime got here, we got up to like 80,000, 90,000 on Instagram.
That's crazy.
But I think like on Twitter, like the Prime effect was really real. Cause like when I first started, we had like 4,000. Then Prime got here, we got up to like 20,000 right before he was hired, and then like over the year that he was here, it got up to like 80,000, something like that.
I also remember 2 other things. One, I believe that the C unit accounts were originally like just owned by the student section,
Yeah,
and then I heard that the school was like, no, like we need to be in control of these.
Yeah.
And so that kind of killed those accounts.
yeah.
That's hearsay, but I think that's true.
No, that's true. Like they actually reached out, and I kind of worked with them for a little bit, and like we would help each other like promote stuff during games, but yeah, it was mostly run by the athletic department.
And then there's one other crazy moment I remember, which is like there was like a report of like an active shooter or something on campus or something crazy like that. And people were like so mad because they were like, why am I hearing about this while on campus from the Barstool Colorado account before I'm hearing about it from the school?
So that became like a whole big thing. So like that was like 2021, and there was a whole bunch of stuff. Like we had a couple things that happened around campus, on campus that, maybe they were on the hill, so they weren't directly on campus. So the school didn't feel like they had to, be the ones to put out an alert, because it kind of looks bad for them if they're constantly putting out alerts about stuff going on. And
Yeah.
so like we started putting those out, and, the student body and parents started getting upset that the Barstool account was the one putting those out. So I actually like got a couple like news interviews about this, and like got to talk like on the news about like that. And then they kind of did this whole shift and like changed their policy on how they put out alerts. And yeah, that was a wild time. Yeah.
Look at that, from sending, troll tweets to changing policies to make students safer.
Yeah.
I love
Crazy
it.
time. But it was a really good experience overall. And, I was a communications student, so I honestly learned more like running the Barstool account than I ever did like running, being a communications student. So
I was gonna say, you had a very powerful account. What's the biggest thing you learned in that time, just as the account was growing?
You got to be careful what you say. You got to be. Yeah, you got to be careful what you say, and there's people listening at all times. So
Yeah, we've learned that too.
But yeah, you gotta be careful what you say. But yeah, after Prime got hired, it exploded, and especially that week that he got hired, that was the most fun. Like just
Insane. Did you sleep much that week?
not really. Like I was like constant. Like what is it? Your screen time on your phone? Like
yeah.
it was crazy.
Mine
like,
too. Yeah.
like just putting stuff out, and it was just nice because you don't really like. We had Bucky out there in the background recording everything, and Darius recording everything, so we got the whole behind the scenes what was going on, and yeah, it was super cool.
What was that like? Just kind of the shift. Like, how much changed for you in terms of running that account once that happened?
So much content, just
Yeah.
yeah, just so much content that you could put out, and we had a pretty good fan base on Twitter, but it like doubled overnight. There's people like wanting to hear all about the Buffs, so the numbers blew up, and yeah, a really cool time.
What was last season like from your perspective then? I know you didn't run the account the whole time for the season, right?
Yeah.
It was like November when you stopped?
Yeah,
What was that like though? Just being a student on campus, running that account, just kind of being the buzz of the campus, really.
Man, it was so fun, especially, of course, those 3 weeks when we had Big Noon on campus, and, actually Barstool had their own pregame show with Portnoy and all those people that comes in. They were supposed to do it, and we had it all planned out, but I guess CU told them not to come because they already had Big Noon coming, game day coming, and there just wasn't room, and they wanted the kids to be going to those ones. And so, but just the vibe on campus was crazy. Like, people were interested before, and they would stay till halftime of the games and get pretty rowdy, but, to have the students there the entire time, and it was pretty cool.
Were you surprised? I mean, how often do you read them? Were you reading the mentions a lot or no? Because for me, I was really surprised the level of hate that there is. I always thought Deion Sanders was so cool, and even when he was doing the stuff on NFL Network, I'm like, I just never knew that there were so many people out there that disliked it.
Yeah.
And so that was one of the big wake up calls for me on social. Was it's maybe not 1-to-1, but sometimes it can feel like for every one person that is so excited about this, there's another person that has seemingly real hate in their heart for what's going on here.
And it was immediate too. The second it got announced, it wasn't overtime. It wasn't, they're getting all this hype and I'm tired of hearing about it. It was immediate, right when he was hired pretty much. And yeah, it was hard to read the comment section a lot of the time. It honestly was. And it would get me fired up, and I would just want to quote tweet everything. And be and it's people get tired of seeing that when all they see on their feed is people arguing. And so, yeah, you just got to kind of learn to ignore it. But.
We have a guy here, Harrison, who covers the Nuggets, and he's great at Twitter. And he says that sometimes when he knows he's trolling, he'll just send out a tweet and then just hit mute
immediately.
Mute conversation, and he'll just never see what anyone said. I'm like, dang, dude, I was reading the replies to that tweet. It was crazy. He's like, oh yeah, I never saw him. Yeah, I'm I don't know how you do that. I can't. I have to look.
My blocked list probably on Twitter, over that couple of months, went from I don't know, 3 or 4 to a good amount. There's a good amount.
Literally, yes.
I had never blocked anyone pre-Prime. Yeah. I legitimately think I had 0 blocked accounts on Twitter.
Wow.
But I think I said this one day on the show, I started seeing people saying racist shit or whatever it is, and then I would look at the view count, and they'd have 5,000 views on spewing bullshit in my comments, and so I just started being I'm not gonna let you use me in my replies as a way to, megaphone out your racism or whatever it is that you may be putting out there. So I'm anytime someone does that now, it's just insta block. I don't even think twice about it.
Yeah. I think I only blocked ad accounts just because I was tired of seeing ads on Twitter. So I would just block them. But then, once Prime came along, it got a lot of use, man.
Yeah.
The Barstool account now.
Well, no, before we do that.
Okay.
What led to your decision to kind of step away from that?
Well, I was graduating, so I ran out of eligibility pretty much. But I was graduating, and I just kind of wanted to. I was pretty much had a month or 2 left of school, and wanted to make sure I finished up. And I don't know, things were getting a little bit toxic too. Just with losing some games, and you
Yeah.
know, not just out there, but like the most annoying thing, honestly, was like old fans of CU versus new fans of CU arguing. It's like, come on, we're like all rooting for the same thing, and that honestly got to be the most annoying thing. But yeah, just graduation mainly. So coming up, but.
Well, then the Barstool
now-
account now, yeah. What do you think of it? I mean, it's obviously a pretty stark difference from when you were running it and whoever is now. What do
Yeah,
you
I
think?
don't know who they hired. Like, that's all obviously people in New York City choose who they hire. And, you know, I don't know how much effort they put into really hiring people. So
So they got lucky.
it does
with
kind
you.
of stink, but like the Instagram's pretty good still. But on Twitter, I know they're not really, you know, they kind of post stuff like an hour or two after it happens sometimes. And
Yeah.
they've been, you know, yeah, it is what it is, honestly. But
I made the joke at the beginning, like it's definitely not as good if we're just being honest. But I'm also like, you know, I have nothing against, like, I hope that person figures it out and kind of, you know, gets better at it. We don't know who they are.
because they have a big voice, like that's what I hope is like.
Yeah, exactly.
They can figure out because it has a big voice, and
Yeah.
you know, especially with the student body. So
And that's why I didn't want people to think that we like stole you away from it, because like it's kind of like an important leg of, you know, the wheel that is Buffs Twitter. So yeah, I mean, well, you know, I would be happy to help them any way we can or whatever.
yeah,
They should probably stop stealing tweets, but hey,
yeah there's a little bit of
that's a
tweet
whole
stealing
other,
there.
that's a whole other thing. Again, like before I even knew you or anything, I was like, hey, I want to have like just like an amicable online relationship with these people. Like, even if it's just like, if you retweet me one time, like I'm gonna make sure that next time I see something, instead of like ripping your video or whatever, like I'm gonna retweet yours, because like it's like an unspoken kind of like respect that goes on in those things. So yeah, I'm hoping that account kind of gets back to its former glory one way or another.
Yeah,
So you've been at DNVR 3 weeks now?
3 weeks.
And you're running socials. I guess just kind of let the people know what you're doing for us moving forward.
Yeah, so not just Buffs, like doing all socials with Nuggets, Broncos, Rockies, Rapids, just kind of helping out all the beats, and then Instagram, and just trying to grow all these accounts and spread the word of DNVR. And
Yes, sir.
but
What
Buffs is what I know the best. So Buffs and Broncos. So
What led to you kind of wanting to come here?
yeah, I mean, I was going to keep working for Barstool just in Chicago or New York City, one of the two, and still doing social stuff. But I love Colorado. I want to stay here. Love talking Buffs, Broncos, all those. And I love what DNVR is doing. And, you know, I love the vision of what you guys are doing, and I want to be a part of it. So
I love it.
Hell yeah,
I love it. I've also said before that I don't think anyone who's like a true Colorado sports fan and like loves all the teams has ever not succeeded here. So you're on the path, the right path.
appreciate it. And thank you guys for making me feel welcome and stuff.
Of
So-
course,
Of course, man. We're glad we have you. Like, Jake and I were texting one night. Actually, no, we were talking about it on like a Monday. I was like, "Did you tweet that?" He's like, "No." I was like, "Me either." I was like, "Damn, good tweet from Cotter."
Yeah, I need to be a little more active on the Buffs account, but I'll get to that now. But you guys are so good on your personal account, so it's like you're already getting the stuff out. So, yeah,
Power trio.
Yeah,
power
no
trio,
doubt, man.
There we go.
Well, this is Ryan Cotter. Hope you guys enjoyed the interview. Follow all the accounts. You'll see his tweets from all over the network moving forward, especially on the Buffs account. Thanks,
Awesome.
man.
Perfect.
And follow
Thank
his
you guys.
personal account too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
follow my personal at Ryan Cotter.
And there he is.
There he is, man. Hopefully, we see those bangers that he was putting out from the Barstool. I mean, we've already, like I said at the
We
end
have.
there, we've already seen it.
Yep.
He's really good. He has such a good eye for kind of what hits on social.
Yeah, he gets it completely.
Obviously a true Buff, Colorado sports fan. Super stoked to have him on board.
Yep, so stay tuned for more stuff from him. Let's wrap this thing up. Shout out to our friends at Circle K, your one-stop shop on the road for gas, snacks, drinks, whatever you may need on your next road trip. Hit them up and sign up for their Inner Circle. That's their free membership. You can scan the QR code on the screen right there, or go to circlek.com/inner-circle. All you need to do is enter your email and phone number. You get your first 5 fill-ups of gas, 25 cents off a gallon. First 5 Polar Pops are free, and every 6 item free on multiple things in the store. We're huge fans of Circle K. We got a whole cart with snacks here now in the studio.
The snack stack.
They've been hooking it up. Shout out to them.
Shout out Circle K for sure. Also, quick Ryan Cotter note. 3rd Ryan on the DNVR team.
Yeah.
I think we're at around like 10% of the employees here named Ryan.
Yep. Crazy.
Anyways, shout out to our friends over at Illegal Pete's. Whether you're named Ryan, Jake, Alyssa, or Pete, they'll serve you delicious burritos and beers. Get down there, check them out, get some of their queso. It's absolutely unbelievable. I could go for some right now. I would probably just eat it with a spoon.
It's that good. Just put it in like a cup, just start drinking it.
Just cheese soup. It's that good. Anyways, go check them out. Get yourself a reverse nachos or a steak and queso burrito if you want to follow my lead. But they're the best.
All right. Real quickly, going to talk about some basketball before we get to comments.
Girls Club said, does that make 2 RCs at DNVR? Well, we have RK, RG, and RC. I'm trying to think if there's anyone else with the R first name here.
The Cubs guy, right? Well, that's all city. But
Oh, that's another Ryan. No, yeah. Just RK, RG, RC.
And more to come.
You never know.
We're going to talk some basketball here real quick. We have a pretty big weekend coming up on the men's side, on both sides, actually. I think the women's play ranked Oregon State coming up. They're obviously the favorites to win the conference, but the men right now stand 4th in DraftKings odds. You're going to have to help me out here. Arizona's the favorite, I know.
Arizona's the favorite, then Oregon. Arizona, then Utah, then Oregon, then Colorado. I'm not really sure why they have Utah ranked up there so high, but
they've been good this year.
As it stands right now, there is a log jam in the conference. You have Utah at 5-3, Colorado at 5-3, Stanford at 5-3, ASU at 5-2, Oregon at 5-2, and Arizona at 5-2.
Yep.
A lot of movement going to happen between now and the end of the season, and you do have Washington State right there behind just one game at 4-4. So there's a chance for CU to make some noise here. You know, we talked about magical season in the last segment. They could go on a magical run here, and that's not just unfounded, because to me, like, Cody Williams just leveled up.
Yep.
He went from like super talented and physically gifted freshman to, that's the lottery pick.
Yeah.
That everyone's talking about, the potential #1 overall pick in the draft that everyone's talking about. And so Colorado, you know, they lost to Arizona on the road. Arizona's the heavy favorite to win this conference. They're minus 350.
Yep.
They lost to Arizona on the road badly. They get them at home. So, you know, the rest of the schedule kind of pans out pretty well for CU. I don't know if they're going to be able to win this thing, but they're in a very good position to get a top 4 seed going into the Pac-12 tournament, which obviously gives you a first-round bye. And that should be the goal, with obviously the regular season championship in mind. And then you make some noise there. Like I said yesterday, they're kind of just outside of the zone there when it comes to making the tournament right now. But I think they're just about to play their best basketball. I think they do get into the tournament, which is the ultimate goal.
Right. Obviously, a massive stretch coming up here. They play Washington State tomorrow, and then on Saturday they play Washington.
9 p.m. tomorrow, huh?
Or it's Washington, then Washington State. Sorry. Yeah, 9 p.m. You staying up?
Of course. I mean, that's like just past dinner time for me.
That's true. They also go to Utah on the road. This team's got to win on the road. They've yet to win a true road game this season. I think they split their neutral site games.
Yep.
You're going to have to win on the road. You're going to have to dig deep. You're going to have to be just more consistent overall as a team. We've seen the ceiling of this team multiple times. We saw it last weekend. This team can score. They can, hit 80, 90 consistently. They're shooting like somewhere around 50% at home.
Yep.
So they can do these things, but they go on the road, they just turn into a different team.
It's why that Cal game where they just collapse hurts so much.
Yep.
This is kind of a freebie, and you were cruising, and you let your foot off the gas too early. And you would at least have one to your name right now. But I think that's why they're out for most people's bracketology is like you can't make the tournament without winning a road game.
Yep. Exactly.
And they didn't. I mean, the true road games in the non-con was just CSU, wasn't it? Yeah.
So yeah, CSU, Arizona State, Cal are their road losses, and then they lost to Florida State. That was the neutral site one.
Yeah. So they only played CSU was only the true,
Yep.
only true road non-conference game. They've got 2 really good opportunities this weekend. You need to get started here. Just get one off the board, get it off your back, because then your next road trip is Utah, which obviously we just said they're second favorite to win the conference. And then you go the USC and UCLA trip in mid-February. You don't want to not have a road win going into mid-February.
Yep.
Got to get one this weekend.
So stay tuned. I'm sure we'll talk about this more tomorrow. Let's wrap this thing up. What do we got, Alyssa? Big Teasy, what's up, man? Anyone at USC we should be trying to poach? About to be open season.
Why?
Trojans? Is that what we're talking about, right? I don't know.
I wouldn't know.
This is a massive year for Lincoln Riley, though. I mean, he doesn't, win. I don't know. You're going into the Big Ten, but I feel like you got to win like 9-ish games.
It's not going to win 9 games without Caleb Williams.
I mean, he's at USC. You think they're just going to be like, all right, especially after this year?
I don't know. Can they get a refund on the house in Malibu?
Maybe. It's close enough.
USC at a certain point just needs to realize like they're not that special.
We talked about BJ Green at the start of the show, if you guys want to go back to that.
We did. First thing we talked about.
Yeah. Devin Bush says, it's been almost 2 weeks. Where's the DC? You want to answer this one?
It's coming. They will have a DC at some point.
There we go. When do we go live? Usually around 1:30 Mountain every day. Today we had to battle the electricity.
Which apparently we don't need electricity to run this show.
Yeah.
We're so electric.
How this stream held on the entire time was pretty amazing, not going to lie.
A
Good job,
resilient
Alyssa.
stream. Thanks, Alyssa.
That wasn't me, but you're welcome.
Shout out to RC, newest member of the team
Yep,
here.
our guy.
Like we said, follow DNVR_Buffs on Twitter. Follow him at Ryan Cotter. Some good content coming your way.
No doubt, man. We'll be back tomorrow. Justin will be here later in the week, so we'll have another player. Till then, let's go Buffs.
Let's go Buffs.
We all silly like the mayor.